Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a review of Thor Love and Thunder, a spoiler-free analysis of the film's deeper meaning, its impact on the broader MCU, its general enjoyment relative to Thor Ragnarok and other Marvel movies, and how fun those goats are. A while ago, I did share my post-screening reaction, but that was really a babbling rant about how I cried and how not enough of you know me well enough to know why I cried. So now, after some more time has passed, I've been able to collect my thoughts in a way that still will not spoil the film's plot. So first, general thoughts. Thor Love and Thunder is an invigorating adrenaline boost to the heart as a hilarious action rom-com fueled by Taika Waititi's stylistic irreverence with deeper thematic ambition that seeks to build worlds of meaning in the MCU where Ragnarok sought to burn them down. Christian Bale as Gorr is my favorite MCU villain since Thanos. This actor finally allowed to take the reins in a superhero title, the way Heath Ledger stole his show back in The Dark Knight, and Bale drags us into a shadowy hell with a haunting physical performance akin to his macabre delight in American Psycho, but this time motivated by heartbreaking grief. Love and Thunder is the greatest romance we have seen in an MCU film, but not just as a romantic tragic comedy between Thor and his ex-girlfriend Jane Foster,
Right.
but the chemistry burns equally in the hearts of all characters of this ensemble. Valkyrie, Korg, even Stormbreaker, all of these supporting players get their own fully formed arcs. When comparing it to other Marvel Phase 4 movies, I expect many Marvel fans will rank Love and Thunder below Spider-Man No Way Home, but above Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because while it may not give the average New Rockstar subscriber everything you want from an MCU event, this remains a deeply satisfying mythological adventure with meaty action, sexy team-ups, and visually stunning set pieces. This is the deepest I have felt about these characters. Waititi has achieved as much character development in under 2 hours as Marvel normally spends 6 episodes of a Disney Plus series exploring. Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth finally reached that chemistry that I've been waiting to see these two actors have in the several films we've seen them together in, and while you may not root for them as hard as you do, say, Wanda and Vision or Loki and Sylvie, I suspect this movie will break your heart. Also, I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare these films to Loki or WandaVision, but either way, Marvel Studios keeps surprising me with their ability to, however large the screen these stories are told on, make us believe in these characters as something more than merch.
Surprise, motherfucker.
But really as mortals and immortals questioning their own beliefs. Sometimes worrying about the fate of these characters can get you so stressed out you just want to pull your hair out. But if you are the kind of guy worried about losing your hair in the more natural, unfortunate way, well, our friends at Keeps can help you out. Because 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35. With Keeps, you can get quality expert care without ever visiting a doctor's office or a pharmacy. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there, but at half the cost of your local pharmacy. Though you never have to go into a doctor's office, Keeps has a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists to support you in making your hair goals a reality. Easily subscribe to Keeps and get refill reminders so you'll never run low on the products you need to take care of your hair. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/newrockstars or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/newrockstars. Now, the top question in minds of fans going into this will be how Thor Love and Thunder compares to Thor Ragnarok, as Taika Waititi truly did reset many aspects of Thor's corner of this universe back in 2017. For those who felt that Thor Ragnarok might have allowed Taika Waititi to take a torch to too much of the MCU, killing off the Warriors 3 and obliterating one of the few interesting off-world settings in the MCU as a punchline, and the deaths of characters like Odin and Scourge not bearing enough emotional weight, hey, I have good news. Love and Thunder shows a more mature Waititi who makes you feel every gut punch, and when it comes to world building, it wrecks as much as possible, phrasing intentional. From the way it evolves New Asgard into a truly satirical escapist fantasy on Earth, to charting out new cool to look at horizons like Omnipotent City and the Shadow Realm, labels that are used in the marketing, so it's not spoiling too much to name them, don't worry, to other backdrops and imagery that I cannot wait to discuss in future videos. Not gonna go into it here because that is a spoiler. I'm just gonna say shocked to see some of this stuff in live action, and I'm not quite sure how they pulled it off. All of this is saying that Love and Thunder just gives more gifts to the MCU for future titles compared to Thor Ragnarok, which really, when we're honest, played with existing toys and just broke them. A process that was very fun to watch. However, if what you loved about Thor Ragnarok was its second act, the team up with Hulk on Sakaar and the introductions of Valkyrie and Korg and the Grand Master, I can't say Love and Thunder lives up to that madcap fever dream and Douglas Adamsian absurdism. I promise you Omnipotent City will delight you in plenty of other ways, but it's just not as hot of a party as Goldblum's Gladiator Trash Planet. Still, as a Taika Waititi character comedy, it is as funny as Ragnarok is. I think I laughed even more, but you know, I also have a thing for screaming goats and shitty gods and petty inanimate objects. And compared to Ragnarok, Love and Thunder is certainly prettier to look at, with high contrast black and white photography, not just for show, but to express the inner depravity of the warriors. Hats off to director of photography Barry Zidion, production designer Nigel Phelps, and of course the creators of the comics that this story was very much based on, God of Thunder and the Mighty Thor by Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic, who created some of this movie's gorgeous imagery adapted almost exactly from the pages of the comics. Now, how well does this work as an MCU event? Now, again, I'm not gonna go into spoilers here, but Love and Thunder makes you appreciate MCU past with delightful Easter eggs and callbacks and cameos, but more importantly, makes you ponder the future of this universe alongside titles like Doctor Strange 2 and Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, all of these, to different extents, spiritual morality plays that consider the souls of Marvel heroes. The Infinity Saga asked who Marvel heroes would be fighting, and now Phase 4 seems to be asking why and for whom. What was once abstract now has a pulse, and I cannot wait to see where Marvel goes with this. Now, I understand Marvel titles feel the need to revert to a status quo by the ends of their stories, but Marvel has always been at its best, I think, when battles truly warp their worlds and paint themselves in narrative corners. Captain America Winter Soldier, Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame, Loki, Spider-Man No Way Home. All of these titles kill their darlings and leave us hungry for the next installment. So in that regard, Love and Thunder may leave your tummy rumbling a bit, the way it did after some other Marvel titles. Like, great, but did anything really change? Were any prices paid? This is all really fun, but are we left with anything new that we're excited about? As answers to those questions, your mileage may vary, but I'll tell you, for me, yes! Especially as this movie's final moments define precisely what Love and Thunder means. And I'll tell you, if you have someone in your life that you love, someone known to you currently, or just someone that your heart seeks still, you may tear up here. I spent the credits sobbing. Trust me, when you go see this movie, try to bring someone whose eyes you can look into, or just a friend from work. Now, to talk about where this film falls a bit short, we must blaspheme and critique Taika Waititi's filmmaking style. Now, I am saying all this as a massive fan of Waititi and everything this guy has made. Boy, Hunt for the Wilder People, What We Do in the Shadows, Jojo Rabbit, Ragnarok, Our Flag Means Death. The man is a genius and I will watch everything he makes. But, love it or not, we gotta admit, Taika Waititi has a tendency to paint every narrative beat with the same brush of ironic detachment. Even moments that we really should be terrified that the heroes will fail or grieving loss. But when you're watching the Waititi joint, it's really like a stick shift from laughing to hell yeah to once per movie, cry, and then not much else in between. Those harder to quantify feelings like depression or anxiety or just raw ugly panic are really framed through Waititi's lens as objective matters of fact that we're processing at a distance, so we can best efficiently move past them rather than actually feel them, and never ever ever embrace those sloppy sobs or beer guts. I know that may sound a little unfair. I'm just saying this movie laughs through a lot of beats that I kind of just wanted to feel for a second. This might come from Waititi's ingenuity coming from his improvisation, and as a junkie for improv comedy myself, a note I often hear is rather than trying to joke your way out of something, just consider slowing down and taking a beat to scream or panic or agonize. And trust me, the audience will jump off a cliff with you. Comedians are often afraid to go to those dark places. And in this movie, sometimes you just want the characters in Love and Thunder to scream louder than the goats do. Or better yet, ask why the goats are screaming. Because as someone living in 2022, I can relate with someone who only communicates with existential dread. All that said, Taika Waititi clearly does not need my stupid improv notes. I loved this film, both as a Marvel nerd and as someone who just loves heartfelt action movies. And nudity aside, this is a family film. You will be shocked at how much of a family movie Love and Thunder is. I'm not gonna give this any numerical score other than 0 out of 10 Mephistos, which is how I've ranked every Marvel title. But technically he might have shown up in Omnipotent City. I didn't really see him, but then again, you never see him. You just feel him inside you, phrasing intentional. I cannot wait to hear what you think about Thor Love and Thunder. We're gonna have lots of videos coming out this week about it, so be sure to subscribe to New Rockstars. You can also follow New Rockstars on social media. You can follow me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Erik Voss. And again, subscribe to this channel for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.